So people
Right,
are
I'm gonna.
hi again, Scott. Alan, we've got Alan, we've got Paul, we've got Thelma joining. Siobhan is our other guest.
Nice.
Uh, so once she's in.
Morning. Hi, guys.
Hi, Siobhan, how are you?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm all right. I had my fingers crossed. I wasn't sure whether the network in Ireland was up.
Oh, no, it is.
I'm just joking.
Mm.
You're not just, I'll increase my volume, guys, just in case it's too low.
That's fine.
Oh,
Good. So I think we can get started. It's 12:01. I'll keep adding people will keep joining as we go along, but we can get started. We have about 1 hour. So what it is, I'll just give a brief intro. So again, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So the bot optimization drop-in is an initiative that was started a few weeks ago to basically help the community to adopt automation within their practice. So and to get best value from it. And it seems to be working okay. So it's usually an opportunity for people to drop in and ask questions that perhaps they haven't been able to ask at any other time. And then more importantly, by asking those questions in the room full of practices who are on the same journey, you probably get a more practical answer than I could give myself, basically. So that was the idea, is to start getting the community to learn from each other, was the idea behind this. I was saying to, and I'll just do the intros. I was saying to the guys earlier from Normal Crunchers that it was a session that actually worked particularly well. I probably spoke for about 10% of the time, and there's a lot of rich conversations going on. So that really drove it home for me. So I thought I'll get some of our more advanced users to share some of the experience. So we have the privilege today of having 2 practices and 3 people that are more than happy to share with the team. So we've got the dangerous duo from the Number Crunchers. We've got Howard and Gaynor. So we've got a practice in Cirencester. I'm going to leave them to tell you all about themselves when it comes to them. And then we've got our very personable Siobhan, who's based in Ireland. She's with PSC Accountants.
hi, everybody.
Good.
Hi, Siobhan.
So do you guys want to go do a bit of intro, and then, we'll start asking questions and share some of your experience and maybe best practices from your perspective. Don't know who wants to go first.
Ladies first, Siobhan, on you go.
Gosh. We're quite new here to this, but so I don't know how many months we're in, maybe 5-6 months, but I think my comment was, I wish we found this sooner, so we use it with our zero packages or zero clients, and really for the VAT. And we christened our bot Sam, and he was very easily to implement. And now I say he was very easy, it's really the team that was doing all the heavy lifting. But what we did was we actually took someone, a fully qualified accountant, out of the production for them to implement him, and set up rules, etc. So and we picked this person because they were very good on zero anyway, so it allowed them to know what was the end result they wanted, and it meant that each run or each VAT period, we'd be making it better and improving, and we still have a lot to do, but certainly it was the quickest win we found in implementing anything, it didn't take significant amount of time, and yet it gave us very quick results quickly. But again, it's how you teach the bot. So if we taught him wrong, he might make a mistake. So it's learning that and reviewing what the bot is doing so that we can make sure it's doing what we need it to do. So no, absolutely fantastic. We can't wait now to get him onto something other stuff, but at the moment he's only on VAT at the minute.
Fantastic. Okay. Thanks for
Can
the
I ask,
insight.
Siobhan, when you say VAT, what do you mean? What is it he's doing?
What I mean is he's going into HubDoc, he's releasing all the invoices, he's reconciling the bank. What members of our team would be doing, they'd be sitting there, they'd be matching invoices from the bank via HubDoc. So the bot is actually doing that for us. It's seeing it, it's following the bank rules. The bank rules are really, really important, so he'll any rule that's implemented, he will, like, say for example wages or something easy, he'll just fly through all of those, get those done straight away, and then the invoices, he'll start working on the invoices and releasing those, and matching. So if you work with Xero, he's reconciling the bank and debtors and creditors as we go. And I say the VAT for us, that's why we needed to get him in. I don't know how you're experiencing it with recruiting people, but we're finding it very, very difficult to get bookkeepers, and to be honest, at the moment, and as I said, I don't know, we're 5-6 months in, kind of, better than I will, but he's certainly saving us a person, that's the reality of it, like for us, for our practice. And we're not even utilizing him fully yet. There's many clients he hasn't even touched yet.
Yeah, so we're similar to you, so Siobhan, because we have it all the bank rules done, and we did all of them fairly quick as well. And just finding sometimes it's not matching the narrative. Sometimes you might have a partial narrative and then you're matching with the invoices. So we're just finding that. Do you use the narrative, or are you just going with 100% match?
No, we use the narrative as well. But again, I think, that to be honest now, I'm not doing the nitty gritty. Okay, it's the team that's doing that. But I think, again, like going back, reviewing what he's done, where we're not happy with him, and can we change the rule to make the rule, better. So for example, PSC accountants. So if we've told him reconcile to PSC accountants only, and yet an invoice comes in and it's PSC, or a payment is PSC, he won't recognize that. So we need to change the rule to maybe add that in, I don't know, does that help you?
Yeah, somewhat. So just for matching invoices, we haven't set up a rule for that. We would just go with if the invoice is in the system. And I had one today and it said Woody's. So the invoice was Woody's DIY, obviously,
Yes.
and then the narrative was Woody's, and there was some maybe some numbers and some letters with it. The way they kind of have a mix.
Yes.
And it didn't match those. So we were looking at kind of relaxing the rules a small bit, so that like Woody's is Woody's in Ireland,
Exactly.
so that it would match those.
Yeah.
So we just don't seem to get that part of it over the line. But with all the rules we've set up for, if we were transferring funds, if we were doing wages, any of that sort of stuff, they all fly through with no problem with any of them. I glance through the rules, make sure that on the report I glance through and I'll say, yeah, rule, and that's it. And it is matching, and if it's 100%, like if it says Woody's DIY on the invoice and Woody's DIY on the narrative, 100% it'll go through with no problem there.
Yeah.
It's just trying to relax it a bit so that it can help with those things.
Yeah, and to be honest, and this is my fault because I've been really busy, so, and I thought this chat was just, telling people our experience, not about problem solving, but I can certainly, get information from the team and look at and help you out, like, and look at, what are they doing to overcome that,
Just that sort of thing, just what you're doing, because it sounds like we're on the exact same page. We're doing the same as you by the sounds of it. We don't use HubDoc a lot, we use Dext, and we're working it in that. But it's the same thing at the end of the day. It's pushing them through. So I'd say we're on the same page. I was just wondering if you had come across any kind of ways of getting the partial narrative matched.
Yeah. I'll certainly look at that and let you know,
Can I jump in there?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think on the rules, if you take off the exact match, and we've been doing it client by client, because actually we're quite a good example. We trade as the Number Crunchers, but our registered company name is Think Whole Limited. So obviously in the ledger, they might have an invoice that's showing, Think Whole, but actually the bank goes out to the Number Crunchers. So on specific clients, one by one on the bot control panel, the spreadsheet it works from, we've been switching off name exact matches. And we haven't done it unilaterally, Thelma. We've chosen client by client by client, and then just making sure that we're auditing that. We switch it off and we check, has it caused any more problems?
We let our client managers manage that, or the team would manage their clients because they know them better, and they say this one's getting gummed up, and it always does the same thing. So it's not perfect, but we just tweak around that, and they say, okay, well, we'll turn that off. Or
that's the bit for that is your rule, your exact name match. That would probably Woody's DIY. If the amount's the same, it would suggest
yes, if your amounts are the same and both of them contain Woody's, I would just match that. Maybe
actually,
once out of 10 it might be incorrect and we might have to undo it, but chances are it's going to be the same with the same value and it's the same name in the narrative. So when you say you switch it on and off, do you do that in the company spreadsheet section, or do you do it in Xero?
No,
spreadsheet. Yeah. So on the spreadsheet, Helma, there's a column. So you have the green matched and the multi-green match. Next to each of them, you find whether to switch off the exact name match.
Okay. I didn't realize I could do it on that.
So you can do it for. So let's say you have 3 clients. You can actually do it specifically for one.
And some are better than others.
Use exact matches, and then for that specific client, it will again, like you said, it will loosen the rule a little bit, and it will match anything that's green.
We found some clients didn't like us matching sales invoices; it would upset them. So we've turned off sales invoice matching off, haven't we, on some? And it's just tweaking it for that client.
It's very specific to a client, like because any AI, it's not one size fits all. So you have to work with the client. And what we find is if it's always like £100 bill, it doesn't work terribly well. But like Woody's is going to be like £24.92, and then very specific amounts. And I think you would have no problem switching that off for those clients.
Great, that's brilliant. That's the answer I was looking for. I can take a look and do that individually. That's perfect.
Yeah, just try it with one and
see how we go.
Clients could get it all wrong, but that's steady, and then you get more confident and you do it more.
Yeah, brilliant. That is brilliant. Thanks, everybody.
That's all right. So thanks for that. I think, do you guys have the floor? Do you want to introduce yourselves a little bit more?
Yeah, so I think we already did that by the chat, but I'm Gaynor from the Number Crunchers, and this is actually, so husband and wife actually as well. So if we're sitting very close, it's not inappropriate. So we run a practice in Cirencester. We have a team of 10. We have 2 offices. And we've been using the bot, I think, for about a year and a half, Kineo, is that about right?
Yeah, about 18, going on to 18 months.
Yeah, and so ours is called Bertie the bot. And I think I love Bertie more than I love my husband, actually, but we've just loved it. I mean, it is a bit like you said, why did we not do this sooner? And one big difference that we have noticed is this year we are talking to our clients about Bertie and the bot doing it. He actually has a position on our website with his little robot face. Last year, we wouldn't be telling clients that we were using bots, but the AI has become so accepted in everyday life that we are just comfortable to do that now. And it's just something that's sort of been flushed out. And
it was hidden. She was called Alexa.
Yeah.
So we gave it a name,
a
human name, so that they didn't really know who was doing it. A bit like if you outsource, sometimes you're giving it an English name, So there's a deed poll change and a sex change, but we're back on track now. Yeah. So
we called ours Brian for the same reasons.
Yeah. And are you telling people now, Thelma? Are you sort of actively saying you have a bot, or are you still a little bit reticent about that?
No, we're still kind of on the down low with it, but for no reason other than it's new to us. We're only, what would it be, 4 or 5 months in,
Okay.
if even. So we want to get on board and fully understand everything ourselves before we let people in on the secret.
Exactly what we did. Exactly
Yeah.
what we did. But we so we use it like yourself, Siobhan, for the bookkeeping and prepping the VATs. We're also doing payrolls on the bot. That works really well.
That's our next project.
Single director payrolls are lovely.
Yeah, they're really easy. But we've got a lot, anybody who's on a salary, we can just put the bot to work on that client. And we're sort of really actively now trying to push out and do other things. So we've got quite a lot of stuff that we're going to keep Caneo busy with. Just giving you a warning there, Caneo. But yeah.
I mean, I think if you look at what you're doing and you see it as a process, even on those payrolls, if you want it to stop at the point where it doesn't post it, it just drafts it. It still saves you a heck of a lot of work, so that when you came around to it, if that was all done on 23rd, then it's ready for us on the 24th, even if there's a pause and we finish it off.
Oh,
There we are.
I couldn't resist.
We'll change the name to Bertie.
Yeah,
It's got the old Alexa. So.
Yeah, because Noah's got a lovely little bot. I think we showed you that last week, his little bot picture. I think we should change that. We'll do that, yeah.
And can I ask you what you're using for your invoice processing? Are you going through HubDoc as well?
Dext.
Dext.
Or
And
Briefcase.
have you used the bot in Dext?
Oh, yeah.
It's not as successful. What we've done is we are loosening the rules. I think you've done absolutely right. Make them tight. Otherwise, you're just moving kind of a mess from one place to another place, particularly around the ledgers, and it can get muddled. So I think we've been too tight with the rules. Xero, we're hitting something like 14,000 a month at least. So it's really strong. And then on top of payrolls, and then Dext we're only sort of 500-600, but that's because we've set the rules so tight.
And also in Dext, remember that we auto-publish.
Yeah.
So the bot doesn't even hit Dext a lot of the time. We're pushing stuff that we're comfortable with via the Dext sort of automation system. So we auto-publish from Dext. So when Bertie goes in, might not even see it.
We chose to if it can see it in the bank and it is an autofill, where you would click autofill, that's the bit it's doing. So it's got a relative. It's not really doing our ledgers, because Dext, they're getting better, but their statements were sometimes being treated as an invoice, so it ended up doubling up over in Xero. You've got the invoices and then the statement. So we've been slowly, but that one we're starting to.
We switched about 10 clients off this month. And we're just going to monitor them and then switch more and more off, so that they're like all going to the ledger. So we're sort of again picking our clients, or having our client managers pick their clients, so that the clients who actually are good clients follow the rules, do what they're told, don't upload statements, but do those ones we'll start with.
Well, we did it similar to Siobhan as well, where you got someone in to set the rules. Now we've got an automations master called Noah, and we pick 2 clients a month, because you're starting with legacy of no rules, no bots. So you kind of go in, get your rules done, get your bots done, and pick 2 a month, because it really is.
Yeah, by the time you trough through them, and then what happens is he does like a case study every month on who's been the most successful. And what that does, it sort of galvanizes the team, because everybody wants to be the winner, and Noah has a little competition. We have a little table where we have their stats. So you have a leader scoreboard, and it just becomes part of the and to be honest, some of our I'm generalizing, but some of our older team members were quite reluctant, and
everyone says it doesn't. Everyone says it doesn't take long to click on okay, or to go to cache coding and click on do a load at once. But it does. If I asked you to do it 14,000 times, it does take a long time.
It does, but you get complacent as well. Then you're kind of going, okay, and are you even looking at what you're okay in there? You might be kind of on autopilot, and it's only then when you go to do something, you're like, how did that get matched to that?
I never do that, Thelma. No, I never do.
No, it happens everywhere. We're humans. Of course it does. The phone rings and you're like, okay.
But that's the point. The bot isn't human, and he isn't complacent, and it's accurate.
It's consistent. Yeah. Sometimes we've all got the same clients. Some will give you a lot of receipts. Some will give you practically no receipts. So you're sitting there loitering in Dext thinking, I've got loads to do in the bank. we've started to say, well, we'll run with bank rules in Xero because we don't get all the receipts, and maybe an archive system in Dex, so it will start to file it for us because, you know, the rules are more consistent and that suits that client. I think it's looking at it client by client, you know, what
And
time
tailoring it,
and tailoring it to make it work for them.
Forget the clients to do what we actually want them to do, let's be
No.
honest.
I know. Yeah, we are very similar. It is client by client, and you know, going in, reviewing it, and you know, polishing it up per client, and then moving on to the next one and what's working, what isn't working, you know. So it seems slow, but once you see, and we see it in billing, you know, when we go and we look at our time to do, you know, the bookkeeping element for that client, and we're looking at saying, do they post any time? Where's their time? You know, so that's where we're seeing huge results, you know, which is great. And that's, you know, when the client, we haven't told our clients really. I only was actually speaking to somebody recently about it, that they were, you know, that we had Sam, etc. And some people, you know, were saying, oh my God, they couldn't believe it that we're so advanced, you know, or seemingly, you know. But in terms of the billing, you know, is clients coming back saying, well, is our bill going to reduce, or what? How are they looking at
No,
that?
we're on a fixed rate, Siobhan, so they don't really have that conversation. And do you bill monthly or do you bill by the hour?
No, so yeah, we depending, it's honest to God, it's another area we need to fix. So yeah, so you know, some could be every 4 months, so some could be, because it's a timely process to go and sit and do the bill. But we're changing our systems as well, for more automated billing. So that would mean, you know, that it'd be done a monthly bookkeeping service rather than just because the VAT is done or not done or whatever, you know.
Yes.
So that
So
will
we-
help us.
Yeah, we bill very differently. We bring them in on a package, and
Yeah.
they don't get an option of, you know, monthly different bills. The annual fee for the bookkeeping, the software, and the accounts production and corp tax,
Yeah.
and the self-assessments for limited companies, that is all rolled into one package and divided by 12.
Yeah.
So they don't really feel that they're getting charged for bookkeeping.
No, but it saves
Yeah.
time and stops us over servicing. There's a blurred area
Yeah.
between accounts, particularly at the SME level, a revenue under of 250k. What's accounts and what's bookkeeping? It's more or less the same job by the time you've done it. So this saves a lot of.
But we haven't had one conversation where somebody said, you know, because we price to do the job, we don't price per hour. And I
Yeah.
think we've really just framed
Well,
that,
we
and
price-
probably by luck.
We do price for the job, so you
Yeah.
know, as in the VAT return or a monthly bookkeeping service, we do price for the job, but
Yeah.
we do invoice them separate to the accounts at the year end, you know. But that's another whole area we need to look at, you know. And the next thing, you know, when we went on this journey is the payroll and those you know, standard single company directors salaries, you know, those easy ones. But our package is desk based, it's not online. And I don't know, is yours online or is it, what is it?
Xero.
We use Xero.
Oh,
Just
we
use
don't
Xero.
have that in Ireland, not yet.
Okay.
We use
Okay.
Brightpay,
Is it
Siobhan,
not?
and
Yeah.
we feel we don't really need the bot because we have it just automatically moving over to Xero now anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm on about for running the payroll,
Yeah.
Thelma.
Oh yeah, so we have somebody that does that. So yeah, maybe that's something we move on to when we get it up and running in Dex.
Oh, it'd be unbelievable, like.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about it? That's what we do, and we look at it. So we run the fixed assets on Xero, and actually every month, assuming it all you go and check the reconcile report, is it already matched? And if it is, you can run your depreciation. We've worked out that will save us 10 hours by running across 300 odd clients and running
Getting the bot
fixed,
to do it.
you know, and I think it's those, we look at it and think, am I thinking, or am I just running
Processing, yeah.
processing?
If you can map it out on a workflow, the bot can do it.
Yeah.
And you'll see more opportunities. The other thing that we're starting to do is we've got a same chart of accounts for all clients. We changed the words a bit, but we're using our own numbers. And the idea behind that is we're starting to think on a startup is that when we get a new on board, will go straight into Xero and import like 400 bank rules, and that will enable it to process it from bot on day one. And we're
So rather than waiting, because at the minute we sort of have a 3-month onboard process,
and we see who they
which
use.
is manual, and the client manager works with it, does the bookkeeping, sets the rule. Obviously, after 3 months, they get a pattern of suppliers. But by doing this, just import, you knock that out. We're up and running from day one.
For example, the Woodies rule would be perfect for this. We don't have Woodies here in Britain, but Woodies would be perfect. So if you just said, right, if I'm onboarding and a part of that onboarding process, you brought in rules for Woodies, Duns, all these other stores, and you knew where you wanted them coded in, you could have those rules imported straight away. So it's operational day one. You know, it's just part of your onboarding. And it means it's going to find it, it's going to match it, it's going to get the right VAT code, it's going to, you know, put it to the right code every single time. But we found we wanted the same chart of accounts so that we could benefit from that.
And the clients don't care. The clients don't.
So when you're setting up the rule, say if you were setting up a rule for Woodies, so when a payment is made to Woodies, the rule will kick in and it will just post it to that account. But what happens if you don't have an invoice for that amount?
So we set parameters. I don't, I mean, how strict are you on having like a receipt from Woody's? Is there a value up to which you would post it without a receipt, or are you adamant that you need a receipt from the client?
Currently, you're adamant you need the receipt, because you really shouldn't be claiming the VAT if you don't have the receipt. And you'd just be afraid that you'd say, okay, we'll set a rule of €50, for example, and then, but over the course of a year, that could be quite a lot of money, and you've no receipts for them, but you've claimed your VAT for them all.
Presumably, well, just leave them until the client gives you the receipt.
Yeah, I see.
And I guess that's what you do. Yeah, that's what you do now, I guess. Yeah,
that's what we do now. So we would kind of insist on getting the receipts for them,
I
and
think
that's why we wouldn't have a rule, because once the receipt goes in, they'll match.
Yeah, but if you just did it through the DEX rules, I guess that would save that, because it wouldn't actually hit the Xero rules.
Yeah, so that's
you wouldn't do a bank rule.
DEX,
again, these are things that can gum up the system, and
this
you
is
would
exactly it.
you would look at it at a client by client basis. So we have so if the client never gives you a receipt, it puts you at risk. So that's not a good place to be. We ask them if they've got online, and perhaps we can solve it that way. If it's just the odd one they've forgotten, if it's a regular supplier, they're a plumber, they're going to Screwfix, we say, is it under £200 for us? And if it's a regular supplier, then we would claim it.
So we put the VAT number in because we know, like, Screwfix's number in the UK, we've got EE, Vodafone, all of these, there's clearly VAT on them, and it's sort of, on the proviso of HMRC come calling, the client will have to find it, and that's sort of in our T's and C's. So they know that the onus is on them rather than us to provide. And if they don't provide the right stuff, then, that we can't help that. It's their risk, not ours. But yeah, it's different when, in Ireland, I don't know whether it's much stricter or not. Have we got any non-Irish people in the room? They're very quiet, these lads. Alan or Scott, are you from England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales? Where are you from?
No, Ireland as well. Yeah.
Are you all Irish? It's a Celtic get out today, isn't it? This is great.
Sorry, I'm in a coffee shop, so it's difficult to speak. But I'm actually just down the road from Cirencester, so I'm based in Swindon.
Oh, lovely!
Nice.
Come and visit us.
Yeah. So
we do very good coffee, Scott.
To be fair, we're on a bit of a smaller scale than you, but based on what you've just said there, within the last 5 minutes, in terms of the screw fixes, the E's and stuff like that, we basically take the same approach as you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sorry, carry on.
No, I think it's like Howard said, it just gums up our system, and we realistically we can't have the clients. It's like the tail's wagging the dog. So we are, within parameters, we will take that opportunity or chance and just say, do you know what, we can't be waiting for you every month to get, we have 400 clients, and it's sort of, if you waited for everyone, you never get anything done.
Yeah, because it does slow the whole thing down. You're constantly asking people for these, 50, 20, 30 diesel invoices and stuff. And full well they can't find them. And they say, I'll send them today, I'll send them tomorrow, I'll send them next week. And the next thing you run off a bank rec and you have unreconciled items from last February, because they're sending them every minute of the day, but they never get here.
So what's your ultimate solution, Thelma? Do you
just keep going? We just keep going, asking them, please send them in, please send them in. And they're not claiming the VAT back off them until we get them in.
Yes, I
But
mean,
it
that's a
is
good.
topping up the whole system. You're 100% correct. And I think I'm gonna in the next meeting I'm gonna put the have the limit on it and putting the onus back on them that you're gonna have to provide this if it
The
comes.
only other alternative, Thelma, for us here, what we do is we don't claim the VAT and we let them go through and we send them a list
Yeah.
of the ones missing and the value of the VAT they've lost. And they're pretty quick to find them.
Do you just put
It's
them
so-
through a spent money in zero and just
Yeah,
keep
and no VAT.
and no VAT?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
haven't got the VAT receipt, so it's up to themselves. So that then speaks volumes to them because it's actual real money, you know, then it doesn't slow us up, you know. Now we would give them an opportunity, you know, we let them know in
reasonable time.
yeah, and if we come to the next VAT return and we're in the same nonsense, then okay, we're not going to take the risk. We've pushed it through. We haven't claimed the VAT, but if you find them, you were happy enough to claim it afterwards. You know.
Yeah, so we
Charge
do
them a
that
supplement
for a
every
certain
time you have
period.
to do it.
Sorry.
Charge them a supplement, Siobhan, every time you have to go, because it is double work, isn't it? They mess about and then they expect you to do it for nothing.
Yeah, and a bit like you said there about, you know, is it wagging the tail? You know, we want to work with really good clients, you know, and there's amazing clients out there, and then you're going to have that handful that aren't amazing. And unless we stand up and say, look, this is the standard, this is what we expect, they'll keep doing it. And then we're getting so cross and frustrated. So we don't want that. We want to be happy. So
yeah, so that's exactly how we feel. And to bring it back to the bot is that we're getting this to do the work. But unfortunately, if the invoice isn't there, it can't do the work. So it can't do its job. And then you have to introduce a human to kind of intervene and be like, okay, look, all of these are here not reconciled. Why? Because we don't have the stuff. Go back out and ask for the stuff for the umpteenth time. And therefore, you're diminishing the amount of work you can give to the bot that's there to do its job when, you know, you wanted to take the human out of it. So yeah, there's some really good points there, and I'm gonna take them and steal them from you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
He'll be ringing us and funding, saying we have no clients left. They've all left because we treated them like you.
yeah.
And the other thing you can do as well. So at the moment, if someone is sending out those emails, right, you could automate it as well.
Oh really? So if like there was a list of unreconciled items, the email could be sent out. Okay, well that's going to be my next. Once we get Dex finished, which is another conversation I need to have with you
as well. Yeah, because what you could do is once you have templates of what you want to say, so first chaser, second chaser, 28th chaser, and the intervals within them, you can just put it in, and the bot knows if it doesn't see it, you know, then it knows, okay, I need to send that chaser. And once it comes in, because we'll think about how that works, but once it comes in, the trigger is sent back to the bot, so it knows to stop chasing.
Oh wow, okay, that's definitely our next step. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
That on top of all the other suggestions that was there to try and stop this in the first place.
Don't worry now.
I think it's about things that get gummed up. Everything that gums up the system, you have to find a way to ungum it. If that's a small receipt or a chaser letter, or you know, things have to move on, because the other thing we say about the time is if you go into zero and it's unreconciled, every time a team member goes in there, it's one person who's looked at it and thinks, oh, what do I do with that? Then someone else goes in later, they look at it and thinks, oh, what do I do with that? So you're paying 5 people to go in and look at the same item for 50 quid, 20 quid, whatever it is. And it, you know, and that's incredible overservicing for.
This sort of stemmed, we had actually tried outsourcing our bookkeeping, and we were finding exactly the same problems, exactly as Howard said. You know, they were scared to do anything, and we just like repeatedly looking at a £2.99 receipt, for the love of God, and I was like, this is not efficient. So we introduced a workflow for India. If this, do that, if that, do that, you know, and it was their sort of template of what they can do. And actually, when we started using the bot, we just flipped that to give it to Kineo on the bot, and that's like what Bertie was really trained on. And I will say, with no disrespect, I much prefer working with Bertie than outsourcers.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like that you've really utilised it to its best.
Not yet.
Not yet, there's more.
We're excited
And
about the next stage.
like
That's what
Siobhan,
I'm
we
saying.
haven't still haven't done every client, and we haven't done every legacy client. Just pick two. So Noah sits down with each client manager 2 a month, and they've got to pick their lowest 2 a week.
Yeah.
And we're running to about 36%
Yeah.
automation, and Noah's desperate to get us up to 40%. So we're going to go with him, and we just keep on working.
What was it you were saying? What was it you were saying when we met up at Accountex about there was 9,000 something transactions and the bot did 53% or thereabouts?
Yeah.
Taken one from 6%, where it was a client manager who has been off long-term sick, and the client had been neglected, to be quite truthful, but they were fine with that. And it was running at 6%, and Noah sat with the client information, and I think he got it to 63%. And then when the Zero thing, I think that's what you're alluding to, Kaneo, when Zero changed their dashboard, and the bot basically got stopped for a couple of days. When he went back in, it was a real reflection of the actual percentages, because what's happening is some of these ones that we've just spoken about, the legacy items that are hanging out in the bank for whatever reason, we might not always catch them every month. So every time the bot goes in, it looks at that and counts it, but it's counting it month on month on month. But when we had the bot not in for a couple of days, maybe a week, and then we opened it again and went in, I think he did, was it 50? It was over 50%. Which was a much actual truer figure for us. So we're on a real drive to get rid of all the crud that's still sitting there for every single client. Like Howard said, we're working through 2 a week with every client manager. Get rid, clean it. Because if you give the bot a clean sheet to start on, it's incredible. And the newer clients we've got coming in, we're training them better as well. So like if we don't get what we need from them in the first month, we're on the phone saying this isn't what we signed up for. You behave, or we're just going to discontinue.
Nice clients, happy people, happy staff, happy,
Bot.
Yeah, because the legacy issues really do cause a lot of time jobs, isn't it?
Yeah, I think as you evolve, you might find that what was a good client isn't a good client. We've certainly found that, and if you lose that client, you've actually freed up time to find a good client who's on board. Rather than the same repetitive cycles of, I deliver your VAT on the last day because that's all you allow me to do.
It's good tips and stuff there, guys. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
So I don't know, guys, what are some of the things that you have on your roadmap? This could be, you can go Siobhan, or anybody else, really. What are some of the things that you're thinking?
For us is, again, onboarding more clients. That's really important, and then really the payroll is the next. But I think we won't look at payroll probably until maybe December, with a view to looking in January to get that, because it's a new year, etc. So it might be just easier to highlight those clients then as well and start that process slowly.
Yep, for us would be definitely fixed assets is on our roadmap. Bulk onboarding, supplier rules, onboarding when we first get someone in, and then also looking other sections of our practice. We're on sort of Bright Manager. What else can because we're thinking zero decks and we're thinking very operational, but there's a heck of a lot of other operations that you run, whether that's gathering your time through the bot can do that, so they can generate all of that background work and get it ready for you in draft. Because it is just following a process. You click it.
Time spent. You can get the bot to get that info from your records.
So that's where we're starting to think that'll be the longer roadmap. Is what else can it do, from sending statements to requesting information to running our practice. Actually,
statements.
Confirmation statements, great.
But VAT prep.
VAT prep, yep. And even if it went through and just highlighted the red ones that you need to look at, no need to look here, because you say you've got a 2,000 line VAT return to go through, and we know it's already gone through by the bot. It'll just highlight the red ones. These are the ones you need to look at. Don't bother with those, because they all meet the criteria.
So interesting things there. So some of the things that I've noted myself. So you mentioned the fact that you have an well, I'll call it an automation champion.
Yeah.
So you've got Noah, and then I think Siobhan mentioned someone within the firm,
Michaela.
Michaela. So, and that has helped drive the.
Yeah. Because we're too busy. You know, you're running a business, and actually that is a job. And, you know, for us, that is probably the most important job in our place.
It drives the culture.
Yeah.
It's the culture of speed, process, you know, thinking quick.
Yeah, we can't lose that job. You know, whether it's Noah or someone else, that is a role in our practice set in now. That's it. It's just a role that we need to have to run the practice the way we're running it.
Yeah, and there was something you showed me as well, which I found very interesting. So you almost have like a leaderboard.
Yeah.
The number cruncher.
Not that I'm competitive or anything.
So we have monthly team meetings, and each member of the team presents, and one of the sections of that is automations, and we'll always go through a case study, one we've changed, what was a success look like, and the leaderboard, who's doing it. There are e-commerce are really big and easy wins when they have hundreds of PayPal transactions. These can be thousands, big numbers, thousands, literally 300 transactions.
That's the only reason how it gets on the leaderboard. Yeah.
So how the leaderboard, has it helped with team engagement?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's also the average across the whole company. Because we're, if someone needs a bit of help, they need a bit of help with it. Maybe their head's not quite into it. So we can direct that really clearly.
Yeah. So the difference is, we have in the Number Crunchers, we have a recipe book, which is if somebody makes a mistake, or if somebody finds something that they think other team colleagues might not know, they put it in recipes, and once a month we could go through recipes. And it's a bit like, it sort of highlights silly mistakes. If somebody does something really silly, it's in public. We're not hiding here. You've made a mistake. Did you not know? Have you not been trained? Or were you just having a bad day? Whatever it is, but they all know, So it all goes in that thingy, and the balance has swayed. So before the bot, we would go through that recipe book, and there was constantly sort of coding issues, small errors, VAT errors, very sort of low level errors that we had to sort of drive home to the team. But that part of our monthly meeting now is minimal. And on the recipes, it's changed from being errors to knowledge. So like, I found something out about pensions I didn't know last week, so I put it in recipes to share with the rest of my team. But what has happened, the focus from that meeting has changed from what have we done wrong to what are we doing right with the automations. So the automations part of our meeting is much more important now than the recipes part.
Okay, it's interesting.
And more enjoyable, we make it fun. It's like, come on, we rib people, and it's a bit of, it's not done genuinely competitively. It's really interesting, and it just makes every team manager sort of engage in that process, because that's the one where the focus is now.
Yeah, it almost feels like is it some sort of gamification almost? So
and
competition, people are getting engaged. They're looking for ways of scoring more points.
Yeah, and what gets measured gets done. If they don't know they're doing really well, they're not, they don't know. If they don't know they're really badly. And, if you get somebody new and they're like, well, what can I do to make this better? How do I get to the top? And they're keen. So, and people coming in now, that's just the culture. There's not a debate about whether we're doing automations. It's like how well we're doing them is the question.
And Noah's practice goal is 40%. We're sitting at around 36%. And he wants 40%, so he's dragging them all, so everyone's trying to help Noah because he's lovely.
Yeah, he's a really
lovely lad, So we're all trying to help him. We're like, okay, see what I can do, and I'll find another rule.
Yeah.
So Noah, what does Noah, week in the life for Noah, what does it typically look like?
Oh, I don't. You couldn't live in that head, can you? I'm just saying he's quite active, his young Noah. No, I mean, he does his bookkeeping, and he's got other, he does a lot of self-assessments and things like that. He's quite a junior member or young member of the team.
He would support a senior member, so that if we have a volume client with hundreds of transactions, lot busy ledgers, he might be spending sort of 3 or 4 hours a week on that, and he might have 3 or 4 sort of key clients, but he's probably not old enough or knowledgeable enough to be client facing just yet, so he supports that sort of senior role who can manage those. I
mean, I think in terms of the bot, he's done some really smart things. So the actual time he spends on the automations, it might sound like a lot, but it actually in real terms it's probably 8 hours a week max.
Barely a day, barely a day.
A week is fair.
And in terms of supporting the team, because I think in our conversations, you say sometimes he will identify where the opportunities are, and then he will sit with members of the team to.
The more you do something, the more you see it, right? So he's in everybody's clients, the client manager just in their own clients. So he sees patterns and can, switch them between team members where there's a synergy.
Okay.
This is what team member one did in theirs. Maybe we could do that in yours. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And Siobhan, is that how Michaela works?
Yeah, so like we have 2 offices that are running it at the moment, and she goes between both offices. And initially there was a bit of investment in that she was probably spending 2 or 3 days on it, whereas now really she's down to a day,
That's interesting. Same.
Yeah, and she is an accountant, so she is doing everything. She can put her hand to anything. That's the way the training program has gone here. Which means she understands the importance. I always say that the bookkeeping is the most important function of our practice. It is the foundation, and if that is wrong, then the rest above it is going to be shaky. So, so the standard, the quality, so she is ensuring that, what it's doing is right, and, constantly going over it and checking it and sharing from one to the other, But I love the idea of the leaderboard, the team meetings, all of that. I love that. I'm definitely going to see, can we implement something like that, and we've got he's not new, but he's so young again, I think, and I don't want to be ageist or anything. A lot of these are younger people, have the appetite, the willingness, and then this particular guy who's running our bookkeeping department, I suppose accidentally he's starting to get up to a level. He's got such ideas and that he's even linking in with her and identifying, and that's where we start building on.
That's the culture.
Yeah,
it changes the culture. Everyone is invested in making their lives easier because they see the benefits.
I think as well, the other thing that's happened over the piece is, I think when you bring in a bot, maybe there's a little bit of, am I going to lose my job?
Yes.
And I think once you've had, you can say it all you like, oh no, your job's a safer job. People don't believe it until they see it. And I think in our business, that's what's happened. Bertie has become, he's there, but we're still employing.
We would see
so there's no threat. And I think the team embrace that a lot easier once they've got that
confidence. And I feel that Bertie or Sam or whoever, Brian, whoever this boss is going to be, actually it gives the team the space to actually do better work. So they're now reviewing, they're seeing, they're knowing more about the client because they can stand back instead of that monotonous, tick, 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 tick. They're actually seeing, and then they can help, and they can say, oh, by the way, this guy is sole trader, for example, they're doing huge volumes and so profitable, maybe they should be company. Before this, they never stood back to look.
They didn't have the time because they were busy clicking okay.
Yeah, whereas I do think they can offer a better service, and we can offer a better service,
and the client ratios may change. As something that we've been working with Gaynor on, is that where you might have looked after 50 clients, it might be 60, 70 because you've just got more time.
You've got
the background is done, so you'll actually just get more interesting guys and a better ratio.
And I think you need the sort of team members who want to do that. If you have somebody who just wants to click buttons, I'm saying they're probably not the right place in a dynamic practice. That's fine. Go to the sweet shop and click buttons. But if you can't get on board with this, then you need to get off the bus. And I think I'm very clear with my team about that. So it's,
but that's the reality. That's the world we're in.
This is it. I think if you're kind of, running away from the bot or not engaging it, your job is more at a risk than if you're involved with it and working it and using it, because it's not going anywhere. If it's not this bot, it'll be a different bot. So you know what I mean?
Exactly. So we won't have people in our team now, Selma, that won't engage. They're just in the wrong. They're in the wrong.
I don't even want clients that don't engage.
Yeah. We will generally offboard within 3 months if they're. We were so much quicker You know, they come in, yeah, I can sort all your problems out and we get this, but you need to help me to help you. If they are still trouble after 3 months, we're now just disengaging and saying it's not worked out for us. It's, you know, it's not
Because
me.
there's lots of
You.
lovely clients. There's lots of lovely clients out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're on to the final 10 minutes. Don't know if there's any other questions on the chat. Anybody have anything that they want to ask?
I want to ask Scott when he's coming in to see us.
Sorry, guys, I'm listening.
On the road.
Where about you say you are? Sorry, sister.
Really? Cirencester, yeah, or Highworth. We've got an office in Highworth, Scott.
Oh, Highworth, that's a lot closer, right? That's just
Yeah, Main Street in Highworth. Opposite what's the butcher's called? Andrew's the Butcher's.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been to Highworth, but it's a lovely place, I must admit.
Reach out after this, and
Yeah, it'd be lovely to catch up.
And to be fair, some of your ideas are quite interesting. Actually, it's quite interesting to listen to. Like, obviously, we're quite we're a bit on a smaller scale, so I was just jumping on this call really just to like kind of get some like sort of
I think
just sort of ideas what other people are doing really more than anything.
I think you can go a lot further on your own than you could do when I started off 10 years ago, and these kind of things means that you could.
Real quick. How many people have you got, Scott? Is it just yourself, or have you got anyone with you?
It's literally just me and my brother. So we probably got like 60, 70 clients over the course of both of us. And to be honest, I'm pretty much doing all of the automation. So like, obviously, I like kind of see how it works. He does like more of the higher end sort of stuff, and I'm like kind of like bookkeeping sort of style. I think the biggest sort of thing that I was trying to look at here, obviously, I understand what you're saying there as well. With like people, if they're spending 3 hours getting the bots up and going to start with, like that investment originally is definitely worth a lot more than you actually understand. I think obviously once you've actually worked with a bot yourself, you understand that, right? You think 3 hours is a long time, but like that investment of 3 hours over the course of a month or a year, like it's paid back probably like 10, 15 times over the course of a year.
I think Caneo worked out we're 90 hours freed up time. I don't know where they've gone, but apparently we are. You know.
Yeah, the other thing I was looking at really was just more the payroll sort of thing. I was just wondering like how that kind of works with like the obviously the automation sort of side of it. It's not really something I've looked at all yet, so it's just something that I was had on my agenda. But
have you got like sort of people on fixed salaries, Scott?
Yeah, so the vast majority of people are on fixed salaries, and obviously you've got like probably say that's like 80% of people.
Yeah, it works really easily. We just have a workflow like what you do when you go to do a payroll. You just write it down, and then the bot does it. Caneo does his magic, and Bertie comes in and does it.
On the 23rd of every month, it starts and runs.
Yeah, so we run the payroll. He emails out the pay slips. He makes the bill to pay for HMRC. The whole start to finish of it. So.
Does that work in like a similar sort of way than the reconciliation bot in terms of the bookkeeping? Like, do you just have like another file set up or something, or
it's a column on the end of that file? Payroll, yes or no?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because we're all in zero.
For last year.
Just another column.
I need to take a look into that one. To be fair.
Do you use Xero for your payroll, Scott?
I think my brother uses some on Xero. I think the vast majority is actually outside, so he's done a lot of it manually. So it's something we're really looking at doing. We use Capium at the moment for a lot of it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. So and in terms of how you work, so one of the easiest tools to help you do that is called Guide. So I don't know if you've heard of it before.
I actually haven't, no.
So Guide, if you can see my screen, so it's a very quick and easy tool to use if you already have it set up on my system. So as an example, this is something that I did on Guide on how to add clients to company names file. There are a few others, and to get it started is QuickTime. I go here, I pick whatever, so let's say bank rec. Okay, and then I say start capture. So I've already set up everything, start capture, and then it's about to start. I'm just going to do a very quick one. So I come here and then log into Xero and do the razzmatazz, put the thing in there, dream job is Yeah, believe it or not, I'm an accountant. And then my favorite painter is Picasso. And then I'm in. Okay, and then you go in here. There's the new to, let's say, do that with that. But don't know if you're noticing as I'm clicking, the numbers here is ticking up.
Yeah.
Okay, so and I'm not going to do a lot. I'll just do 1 or 2 and then end the process, and then you see what happens. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Click on that. Look at that. Look at that. Click on that. So let's all that's on. Okay.
Straight away.
Yep. So see what's going to happen now. Okay.
You might have one of these for fixed assets by the end of play today, Gaynor.
I think you will. I think you will.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So while he's doing his magic here, let me show you guys what he's already done. So every single thing that I've done, you can see it here. So go to zero login, introduction before starting, ensure you have the credentials, your password, login, use authentication, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so
Incredible.
let me see whether it's finished. Yeah, looks like it's finished. So suddenly, if I click on the play button, don't know if you guys can hear the sound. Well, you're gonna walk through. I have, so 2 things. You have something that you can share with me and the team. And then secondly, you have something that you can actually add to your SOP.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with this rather than keeping like people on the phone for all of that, the rest of the afternoon. But it's very interesting to be fair. Some
Yeah, feel free to hop in, Scott, and watch our bot at work.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we do.
Do you have a bot yet, Scott? Are you thinking about a bot?
We've got it set up like purely in the bookkeeping, like nothing to do with like the payroll or anything. That's kind of what I was trying to get at, really. The utilization in terms of your percentage seems a lot higher than ours. Like you said, like a lot of it actually comes down to the original question. The lady, I can't remember her name, was talking about the receipts and stuff. So some of the receipts are obviously the biggest issue with like the utilization. And I think the further down the line we get, we've kind of gone with your approach and like kind of pushed it back to them essentially to pass it to us. All the documentation we need. It's a difficult sort of medium to hit, really. Like some people,
it gets easier as your tolerance goes down, Scott.
Oh, trust me, my tolerance is very low these days. It used to be a lot higher, but it's a lot lower than it used to be. But yeah, I think it's very interesting to be fair.
Thanks, Paul. We have one question from Lidl. I hope I got the name right. Could you give more details on the automation on unreconciled items we could do on Zero? I think we could have on Zero, and then on how to send reminders. Yeah, Lidl, I can probably do it. Gaynor, do you want to speak to that, or Howard?
I think it's a practice decision as to whether you want to allow the bot to work on a bank rule and reconcile. If you want to do that, you can set it up just as a bank rule, depending on the supplier. If you don't want to do that and you want receipts from the bank, from the client, I think it's a Gaynor question to set up a system to auto remind.
Yeah.
Do you guys use the auto remind at the moment? That's all.
No, we have the rule set up, Scott.
The team sort of do the remind, not the bot.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good.
If it's needed.
Yeah, we're trying to get that personal touch as well. You know, that every touch point with the client, it should be a good and positive one, and they get reinforces who's looking after their account rather than always copying in me and telling me all about their bookkeeping.
Yeah, understood. Like you said, it's a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
Okay. Okay, Lidl is on. Any final questions, tips, last words, famous last words?
Thank you very much, Bertie.
Thank you very much.
And
Bertie,
Cleo.
Sam and Brian, who can't be here today.
Yeah.
No, it's
But
definitely
nice-
straightforward. It's fantastic.
Nice, yeah, nice to meet you all. And
Yeah.
if you do have any
And
other
you-
questions, do reach out.
Happy to share our details, and we're happy
Yeah.
to share the bot love.
Thanks for the tips as well, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice to talk to
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Next
Have a
time.
good day.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye
Bye.
now.
Bye bye.